It's nice weather for ducks. So we still haven't got water up here, piped water that is, which means we are still heavily relying on rainwater from downpipes. We have got an IBC, so we are expecting a massive deluge of water in the next few days. So we're going to try and hook that IBC up to this overflow system so we can catch a lot more rainwater. IBC is in place. It should be a little bit lower. I've dug out a little bit underneath there. If we were going to use the entire thing, so this is a gravity system, so obviously this butt drains out of here and drains into this butt, which is obviously lower, so it pulls it down. And then the idea was that when this fills up, it will drain out of this side and drain into here. Now this is actually the area where we're going to drill into, and then the pipe obviously from here needs to come across. It has to be at a slight down tilt, so it's going to come in probably about here. So we're losing a slight bit of a few inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches of water space capacity, but this IBC is going to give me so much water anyway that I'm not too worried, and I just want to make sure it gets done before the rain arrives. Oh, there you go. Perfect, well done. Task succeeded. So we didn't put a connection point into the actual IBC just because we couldn't reach inside, and also we just wanted to make the pipe really, really short. It's a bit lower than I would have wanted. I wanted to get a bit more water in, but it doesn't really matter. It does mean that if we get loads of rain over the next few days, we'll hopefully get all of this filled with lovely rainwater to give to animals and water crops with as well. So it looks like we got that IBC in just in time because the rain is arriving. Good morning. How you doing? You okay? Hungry. The goats are doing really well, but more excitingly, Ulysses is getting a really, really fluffy coat, aren't you? So I think he's definitely going to get Angora curls like his mum. He's super fluffy. It's really, really exciting. And the other thing is, Monty in here, he has got a little bit of poo. He's a bit poopy at the moment. I think it's because I moved him. He wasn't here with the goats. I've moved him in here because I need to feed up Capulet because poor little Capulet is really scraggy. So I think he's probably just poopy because they've had sheep nuts on ad lib, and they can just have them whenever they want. And I don't think it's worms because he's been wormed. He's good shape, he's not thin, so I think it's just a change in diet, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. One thing I've really got to do today is clean this muck. I hate muck being around. I just haven't had time to do it, so this has got to go to the muck heap. this was really not the plan to have the muck heap so far away from the barn. But we were never going to keep animals in the barn, they were always going to be free ranging. And it's just that we haven't had a chance to get the goats out. Also, the market garden hasn't been trimmed fully or set out fully, so I'm having to go around to the muck heap. But hopefully this won't be for too much longer. Done. So it's not perfect, but I'm saving up for a couple more tools like a snow shovel and a broom so I can get it a bit cleaner. And that compost, all of that straw is going on the compost heap, but I will use some of it for the trees in the woodland. And what I'll do is I'll just sprinkle it around the base, and that straw will help suppress the weeds and keep the moisture in, but also any poo in it will break down over the winter and all the goodness will filter down through the straw into the soil and towards the roots. Well, the rain has stopped, so I've taken the opportunity to put all of the goats out. I've only got 3 tethers still, but I kind of factor in that actually if 3 are tethered, the other 2 boys will stay with them and hopefully not go very far away. So, hello, what are you doing? I think the sheep's annoyed that he's not out here. Hello, Humbug. What are you doing? So Humbug's not on a tether, and Gurgi's not on a tether, but everybody else is. So I also just want to say that obviously we're not penniless, so please don't worry that we've got no money. It's just that we've got a cash flow issue because the house hasn't sold. So we're obviously having savings and we're paying bills and stuff on 2 properties. As soon as that money from the house comes through, then we can start to do some more big stuff. Like buying tools and like getting the polytunnel and things like that. But it really has made me realise how tough it is for farmers. We are super lucky because this farm, all this land, is inherited. I honestly don't know how people set up a farm with today's kind of money and pressure when they have to buy the land as well. It's really, really tough. One thing that we have been doing is I use several of the freer sites. So I use things like Preloved, FreeCycle and Facebook Marketplace to find good bargains. So I obviously bought all of the electric fence kits from Voss, but I needed more electric fencing. I found 150 metres of it for £100 on Facebook Marketplace. So I tend just to check into these things every few days and have a look what's on offer. The other thing is, if you've planned, and I am a planner, as you all know, hello. If you plan what you need, then if things pop up, even if you don't actually require them at that moment, but you need them in the future, you can nab them. There is quite a lot of free and bargain stuff. The other thing that I've been just amazed, what are you doing? Hello. The other thing I've been amazed about is just people's generosity. So obviously when I left work, I got the 2 ewe lambs and the 2 Norfolk corn lambs rather, that I got Cotton and Capulet as gifts. And then obviously Facebook Marketplace, again, there's free stuff, which is amazing. So that the shelter for the sheep in the field, that trampoline, that was free. I offered him some money, didn't want any. And the generosity of people has just been amazing. And some friends of ours, their friends are actually selling up on their farm, and they have been a lifesaver. They've given us tons of free stuff, electric netting, feeders, fencing. So I got a ton more electric fencing to go the entire way around the market garden. And one other thing that I'm very excited about, which is going to be a little winter project. What are you doing down there? Good boy, aren't you? Snaffling on a daisy. Snaffling on a daisy. Oh, are you coming with me? Oh, and not to be left behind, huh? You couldn't possibly be left behind, could you? So let's just go down here to my exciting little gift. Here it is. So I'm super excited. So to many people this might just look like a piece of rubbish, but it is in fact some scales, which is really, really helpful, especially if you're doing something on your own, because it means you've got a way to hold and contain animals. So it's got these hooks that open the gate, and then this is your balance, and it's got this frame all the way around, and then it's got, this is the gauge. So this was for pigs, which is why obviously it says on here heavy pigs, baconers, cutters, pork pigs, light porkers, but it can be used for anything, of course. I doubt I'm going to have any sheep that are too heavy. This is in kilograms and this is in pounds, so that's quite useful. And then what basically happens is you create a race, you run a sheep at a time in, or a goat, close the gates behind them. You can take their weight, which is really, really helpful. But also things like ear tagging, things like dagging, clipping, vaccinating. If I'm on my own up here and I haven't got Sard to help, I can just put things into this, which is going to be super helpful. I mean, it's pretty filthy. It's an old piece. It's got lichen all over it. It's got rust, but I reckon if I can sand it all down, clean it all up, take all this rust off, maybe get like a radiator type paint or something and paint it all up, it will actually be a pretty nice piece of kit. So if you are on a budget or you're setting up, then I highly recommend Pre-Loved, Free Cycle, Facebook Marketplace, and also joining local community groups on Facebook, because often you can just put a shout out to stuff that you might want, and you'll be surprised at actually how many people have what they consider junk and what we consider gold dust. Look at this beautiful Japanese maple. Autumn is here. And also actually this came off Facebook as well. So this was a cheap aviary somebody wanted to get rid of, and they shoved it in their horse box and they brought it to us whole, so we didn't even have to put it together. So there are definitely bargains to be found. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing. If you're on Facebook, hop across and join us at Brimwood Farm's community group. Feel free to go and have a watch of some more of our videos, especially our Starting the Farm playlist, which has got loads of us and how we've moved here in. But I shall see you again very soon. Bye bye.